Hello, so in the last video, we were talking through the different types of correlation that we can have. So we said, well, either a data set can be positively correlated. In other words, the trend of the data is positive, right? It shoots up in a positive way. In other words, if we were going to fit the regression line through this, okay, it would follow that positive trend. So the gradient of the regression line would be positive, okay? Or it could be negative. So in other words, if we were going to put the regression line through, it means that they would be a negative gradient, okay? Or we also said that there could be no correlation there. And we talked a little bit about the different types of ways of getting no correlation. Just remember that just because there's zero correlation, it does not mean that there is no correlation between the two variables. Because of course, we only look at it from the perspective of straight line regression. Okay? And we said, well, look, wouldn't there be a really lovely way if we could quantify this in a nice way? In other words, if we could come up with a number, okay, and we give R, sort of the name of this number, and it's a product moment correlation coefficient, or Pearson's correlation coefficient, if you prefer. And we basically said, look, if the value of R is positive, it means there's positive correlation. If the value of R is negative, it means there's negative correlation. And obviously if it's 0 or close to 0, it means there's zero correlation. But we could also infer information about the strength of that correlation. For example, if it was quite strong correlation, it would be close to either -1 or 1 respectively. Okay? Whereas if there's kind of slightly weaker correlation, then it would be closer to 0. Okay, so this was the basic idea behind the correlation coefficient. We could infer the nature of the correlation, positive, negative, or 0, and we could also infer the strength of that correlation, so whether it's strong or whether it's slightly weaker. Okay, but in this video I really want to talk through, well, how do we go about doing that? And I think the easiest way of doing this is with a motivational example. So let's suppose we have two variables. Let's suppose we have a maths score and a stats score. So imagine a class sits a test. They sit a maths test and they sit a stats test, and we have a score for each of those tests. And what I want to do is understand the type of correlation that we can have. Well, let's just suppose in this case that we can either have positive correlation or we can have negative correlation. Okay, so we can either have positive correlation. In other words, if I was going to plot the scatter graph of the math score against the stats score, okay, it would look something like this. Or we could have negative correlation. In other words, if I was going to plot the stats score and the math score on the same graph, the graph might look something like this. Okay, so all right, we need to kind of understand what we mean by this. Okay, so let's suppose that I thought that my data was positively correlated. Okay, so let's suppose that that was the case. Well, then that could be in two ways. Okay, so either it means that people that score high on the maths paper would also score high on the stats paper, or it means that people that score high on the stats paper, people that score low on the maths paper would also score low on the stats paper as well. This is literally the idea of positive correlation. The idea is that as one variable increases, the other variable also increases. So in this case, as the maths score increases, so people get higher scores on the maths test, the score on the stats test also goes up as well. Okay, so you score high on the maths test, high on the stats test, or you score low on the maths test and low on the stats test. But let's try and quantify this. What do I mean by scoring highly or scoring poorly? Well, in this case, all I mean is I score either above average or I score below average. Okay, so scoring high would be above average and scoring low would be below average. So in this case, let's just say the average is the mean. So what I want to do is try and quantify the correlation coefficient by looking in relation to the average, because then I can kind of get an idea of, okay, if it's positively correlated, means you're above average on both papers or you're below average on both papers. Okay, now just have a think. If you're negatively correlated, that means that as one variable increases, the other variable must decrease. Okay, so as your as your math score increases, your stat score must decrease. That's negative correlation. Okay. Now remember, I'm talking in terms of high and low scores, so I'm talking in relation to the mean. That's all I mean by high or low. Okay, scores above average or scores below average. Okay, so let's try and quantify this in a little bit more detail. So let's suppose that my scatter plot actually looked something like this. So let's look at the positive case first of all. Okay, so let's suppose that my scores actually look like this, because I know that's probably going to be likely. if this is maths and this is stats, the higher you score on the maths paper, probably you're going to score pretty highly on the stats paper as well. All right? So let's try and think about this, first of all, from the maths perspective. So I'm going to think about the two variables separately, and then I'm going to think about them together at the end. So here is my maths mean score. Okay, it's going to be somewhere down the middle. So let's suppose that just purely looking at the maths paper, which is the horizontal axis, this is the maths mean score. So literally all I'm saying here, if somebody is above average, it means they score to the right of that line. And if somebody is below average, it means that they lie to the left of that line. Now, fairly obviously, each of these data points are kind of values, the score which they get on the maths test. So for example, that value there would be whatever score that corresponds to on the maths axis, okay? So in other words, this could be like x1, this could be like x2, this could be x3, so I can actually number them. So what I'm literally looking at is their actual math score, so xi, and I'm comparing it to the mean. I'm looking at how far away are you compared to the mean. Well, if you're above average, when I subtract these two things from each other, that should come out as positive because the score is greater than the mean score, okay? Whereas if I'm looking at people that are below average, then the difference between the actual score and the mean score should be less than 0 because you're below average. And fairly obviously, if you're bang on average, it means that the difference between your actual score and your mean score should be equal to 0 because they should be close to the same thing, okay? Now this seems familiar. When we're looking at spread, in other words, when we're looking at a distance between the value and the mean, we've already looked at a quantity that already measures this. I think we've already looked at standard deviation. So remember, standard deviation literally tells you the mean spread from the mean, okay? So the average spread from the mean, if you like, okay? And the way which we worked it out was by looking at these distances, so xi minus x bar in this case, these are just the distances of each of the data values from the mean. But then, because we're going to end up adding them all together and then dividing by the number which we have, we need to be careful that we don't get any cancellation. In other words, values above the mean don't cancel with values below the mean. So the way which we get around that is by squaring. Okay, so in general, in stats in particular, if you see values that are being squared, that's probably because you want to just make them positive. Okay, but obviously because we're dealing with standard deviation, at the moment this is variance, so because we want to deal with standard deviation, in other words, what's the average spread from the mean, we're going to have to square root it, we're going to have to counteract that squaring, okay? So this would be the standard deviation of my math score. Well, fairly obviously, I can do pretty much the same thing with my stat score, right? So if I just copy this graph, I can look at it now, instead of looking at it from the perspective of the mean math score, let's look at it from the perspective of the mean stat score. So here we go, here's the mean stat score, okay, whatever that is. And basically we're saying if you lie above that line, it means that you're above average. And it means if you're below that line, you're below average. So in other words, if we're going to measure this, the distance from the mean, we're basically saying people that are above average, when we take their score and take away the mean score, that should be positive. And for people that are below average on the stats test, when we take their stat score and take away the mean stat score, that should come out as a negative value. And obviously people that are bang on average, when we take the difference, that should come out as 0, okay? So again, if I wanted to quantify this, I could look at the standard deviation, right? I could look at the standard deviation with respect to the stat score, because that would give me the measure of my spread, okay, or my average spread at least. So sigma y, similar kind of thing, would be square root of 1 over n times by sigma yi minus y bar all squared. Okay, so now I've got a measure of the average spread from the mean in terms of the math score and also the stat score as well. Because that's what the standard deviation tells me. But remember, I'm trying to look at correlation. So in other words, are you following an upwards trend or are you following a downwards trend? So what I need to do is I need to look at these two things. So whether you're above average or below average on the maths paper, and above average and below average on the stats paper, but I need to look at them together, so in combination. So let's have a look at this. Let me draw out the graph again, okay? So let's look at this in combination. So remember that I said that here is my mean mark of my maths paper, and here is the mean mark of my stats paper. So this is going to be y bar, okay? Now fairly obviously, the intersection point, so this red point here, would be people that score average on both papers. Okay, so this is people that score kind of in the middle of the road, right? So they get an average score on both papers. But then have a look. This data here is positively correlated. You happy? Because we've got a positive trend. As we increase in the math score, we also increase in the stats score as well. We get that positive correlation going on, okay? But look where the majority of my data lies. Because I've got 4 quadrants, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants now, just simply by dividing it up using the mean score. The majority of my data for positive correlation should lie in that top right quadrant, so this one up here, and also this bottom left quadrant. So for positive correlation, I expect the majority of my data to lie in each of those 2 values, in each of those 2 quadrants, okay? So let's have a think about that. Well, I said, let's look at the top right quadrant first. If you're in the top right quadrant, it means that you are above average on the maths paper. Because you're happy, you lie to the right of the average line, so you're above the average line on the maths paper. So remember I said that that was the case if xi minus x bar is positive, okay? But have a look, you're also above average on the stats paper as well, because you lie above the green line as well. So remember I said that if you're above average, yi minus y bar should be positive. Now wouldn't it be nice if I could kind of combine that together in some way? Okay, so in other words, if I'm in the top right quadrant, I'm basically saying that xi minus x bar is greater than 0 and yi minus y bar is also greater than 0. You're above average on both. But have a look at the other quadrant. Have a look at the quadrant down here. If you're in this quadrant, what that means is that you're below average on the maths paper, okay, because you lie to the left of that line. So in other words, xi minus x bar has got to be negative because you lie to the left of that line, okay? Equally, you're below average on the stats paper as well because you lie below that line. So in other words, yi minus y bar is negative, okay, because you're below average. So the other option you can have for positive correlation is that xi minus x bar is negative and yi minus y bar is also negative. Okay, so you can have these 2 things for positive correlation. You can either be above average on both papers or you can be below average on both papers. Okay, so what I want to do is try and combine this together in some way to get a meaningful measure of saying you lie in either this quadrant or this quadrant. Okay, that's where the majority of your data lies. Well, look what happens if I multiply those 2 values together. So if I take xi minus x bar and multiply it by the difference in yi minus y bar. In other words, if I look at the difference in the math score and the difference in the stat score from the respective means, what happens if I multiply those 2 values together? Well, fairly obviously, up here, I have a positive value because I'm above average on the maths, and I have a positive value because I'm above average on the stats. So when I multiply 2 positive values together, so xi minus x bar times by yi minus y bar, that should also come out as positive. Positive times positive makes it positive. But have a look, when I'm dealing at this situation down here, I'm below average on the maths, which means I'm negative, and then below average on the stats, which means that that value is also negative. So when I multiply xi minus x bar times by yi minus y bar, and when I multiply those 2 values by each other, that's a negative times a negative, which is also positive. Right? That makes sense? So in other words, for positive correlation, I'm saying that this quantity here, when I multiply the difference in the actual values with in relation to their mean values, when I multiply each of those 2 things together, I get a positive value. So that means that I must lie in this quadrant or this quadrant.